open up a new document entitled Landscape. And then the height and width don't really particularly matter, but these are the ones I've got it on. Make sure it's on RGB and screen colors and select OK. Here we have your artboard, and first thing we're going to do is go into color and go to color guide. We're going to select a guide which suits us the most. So if we decide beach, but we're not doing a beach landscape, so maybe we do flowers, it's a little bit too green. Maybe landscape colors, that's not quite what we want, so we're going to go for foliage. Foliage is a good color scheme for us there. Then we have all our colors available to us. So the first thing we're going to do, rectangle tool or the M key on your computer. Then we're going to make a rectangle around the entire artboard. We're going to use our direct selection tool, select the shape, and pick a nice neutral background color. This is a good one. Then we're going to create another shape just more than halfway around there, and this color we're going to make our grass, so it's going to be a considerably greener shade. Let's go with this one. Okay, once we have done that, we're going to take our ellipse tool, which is the L command on your, and we're just going to make a nice big circle, whichever size you prefer, so that it forms a sort of half moon shape on your artboard. We want it to be a hill, so we're going to place it in that general vicinity. Then we're going to take a darker patch circle, create another circle for another hill, which is going to go in the background. Use your direct selection tool to just place it in the background. We're going to make this a much darker colored foliage. Say arrange, send backward, and one more time arrange, send backward, and now it is nicely in the back of our thing. What we also want to do with these two shapes, with our rectangle and our, is we're going to go to Window, Pathfinder, and we're going to merge these two items. Now they have become one item instead of two. We're going to start creating our trees. Our trees are going to be much darker than the rest of our, so we're going to choose this. We're going to use our pen tool for this one, outlining points where we wish our trees to be, and our trees are going to be very pointy, so, and the color for this will be much darker. There we go. We can move our selection around to maybe about halfway where the hill is. Then we're going to use our ellipse tool again to create, and then just change the size to the exact perfect size of our tree bushes. And now we're going to slightly change this color again to a slightly lighter green. And now we're going to place it. Now you can see it is over our tree, so we want to arrange, send backward once, so that we can see our tree stem there. You can use the right and left arrows to position your tree perfectly where you want it to be. Okay, now we're going to create more branches for our tree. Go back to our pen tool, which is over here. Firstly, we're going to start with a branch. Start at the base of this tree. We're going to make this a pretty thin pointy one, and we're going to anchor it there, and another branch anchor it there. Now you see the color of these. If we want them to be exactly the same as this one, we use our eyedropper tool, grab that color. Now you see this color here, this fill, and if we select this one again with our eyedropper, we make it that fill. And now we've got a nice tree. If you can see how one of the branches isn't exactly in the place it needs to be, we use our right arrow to fix it, and there we've got a nice tree. We're going to use our selection tool, and we're going to hold down Shift and select each and every single one of these tree items, and we're going to group them together so now they move as one, and we can move our tree around. But we're going to use either edit, copy, or the function Control C and then Control V to paste, or again you can go up here to paste in your window. And we actually don't want the trees to be exactly the same, so we're going to ungroup these items, and now we can move each branch individually, move it around so that our trees can be slightly different from one another. There we go. Create one more tree. Again, we can group all of these items by holding Shift, group, then we'll press Control C and Control V, and here is our last tree. These are all grouped together, which means we can hold Shift and make our trees smaller or bigger. So if you want your tree to be slightly wider, you're not going to hold down Shift. That allows you to really freely transform how your tree looks. Then we can add some effects to this to make it more interesting and a little bit more texture to our things. So we're going to firstly go back and regroup these trees, and once it's in a group we can select Effect, and there are many different effects that you can play with here, but we're going to go down to Texture and say Grain, and it's going to pull up this menu where we can change the intensity of our texture and as well as the contrast, so we can make it a really interesting tree. Now, finally, we're going to end up with this nice textured landscape.